Nisargadatta Maharaj said, "To know that you do not know is true knowledge." And Lao Tzu said, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." And then Alan Watts so eloquently pointed out that it was Lao Tzu that spoke that. To get it is to realize that there's nothing to get. And with all the books and videos and robes and gurus at the altar, it makes sense that we make such a big deal in feeling and thinking that there is this place that can be arrived, that there's something to get in all of this. But when you get that great aha, when it is realized that there is no separate self, it's seen that all is a complete mystery, that there is nothing to get, there's nothing that can be gotten. And in fact, after the aha moment happens, possibly the next, best description of a thought that could happen after that is, aha, I don't get anything because there's nothing to get and there's no one to get it. It's beautiful and wonderful and so ridiculously simple. This is a complete and utter mystery. If you could figure it out, which you can't, the mind will never ever get this, even though it's on a constant quest to search, to try to figure out what this is. I get messages and I feel for all of them. Most messages received are about frustration in seeking. Frustration is happening because there's this idea, a thought from the mind, from the ego, whatever you want to call it, that there's something to grasp, and I know that there's something to grasp, and I can't yet grasp it. And I've been doing this for 6 months or 6 years or 10 years. And I try to quit and I can't. That head in the tiger's mouth scenario. But once it's seen, it's really seen that there is nothing to get. And there's freedom in that. Because prior to consciousness awakening to itself, and by the way, what an absolute, it's amazing. Right now, consciousness is looking into a screen at consciousness. I mean, I keep using the word beautiful, but it's just what is. It's just what's happening. And that might be why when awakening happens, there's so much laughter. I've read that it's either laughter or despair, because the despair comes because there's a lot that comes crashing down, including the knowledge and consumption of all of that information, all of those thoughts that are built up in this, glass or ice house that's just chopped down with a big fire axe. It's just completely and utterly destroyed. There's nothing to get. There's just this. There's just what's happening. And in talking about this and sharing whatever this is, there can be some tension that arises. People don't feel that they can be at peace because they say that there's this suffering in the world, or that things need to have meaning. And that's okay too, that they feel that. A couple weeks ago, I got a response from, I mean, probably the biggest piece of wisdom that I've received lately, and it was something that I posted, I can't remember, but it said, these words are meaningless and they have no value. And I was like, yes, right on, friend. You got it. I don't know if that's what he intended, but absolutely true. To get it is to realize that there's nothing to get. And yet, the mind seeks until it doesn't. This game of cosmic hide and seek, which consciousness, upon awakening, both wins and loses at the same time. It just happens. The quest for knowledge settles. It doesn't mean that there becomes less interest in things. You know, even this tapestry is changed every once in a while to make things interesting, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't think I'll all of a sudden start wearing robes to make it more interesting. It's nothing like that. But it doesn't need to be anything more than this, because it can't be. It's just simply this. There's no suggestion here that the mind shouldn't work on whatever it's trying to work, that the mind shouldn't try to figure out whatever it's trying to figure out, because it's going to anyway. It's going to do what it does. The thoughts just arise from nowhere to nowhere, from no one to no one in particular. They just arise. And there's no reason, if doubts arise, there's no reason to try to get rid of those doubts. Because just like thoughts, trying to get rid of doubts or thoughts, more will come in. So the best you can do is just accept. To know that you do not know is true knowledge. It has the flavor of a Zen koan, but there's truth there. And to understand and accept that this entire existence, all of this, is a complete mystery, is where magic becomes possible. Just observing and being and allowing. And that doesn't mean all positive things. It means everything. Acceptance of everything.